community, and welcome to this brand new video series where we have a look at some of the spiritual toolkits of numerologists, astrologers, and divination experts from around the world, so you can get inspired to create your own spiritual toolkit for your own practice. Now, today we're talking with Patricia Missakian. Some of you will recognize Patricia from the Numerologist blog, but for those of you who don't know Patricia, she's the founder of the Akashic Records Institute, and her mission is to awaken and empower people to live their soul purpose. Hey Patricia, how you doing?
Hi Rosie, so good, very good to be here. Thank you for having me, and
Absolutely.
hello everyone.
So now we are super excited to see what is in your spiritual toolkit. So these are the things that you use every day in your daily practice, and the idea here is so we can start to get to know what you use, because when we talk about certain things, we talk about what other people could potentially use, but it's really nice to get a feel for what the experts use themselves. So let's get to your spiritual toolkit. What's the first thing in your toolkit?
Absolutely. Well, my first thing, and it's something that everyone can get, is just a cute little book that it's fun. So this is I actually just got this week. Girl, you got this. so like this is something that anyone can get, and it's a book that I start my day with this book. And for me, it's very important to, I'm not sure if most of you that are here watching know, but I have, our business is, I have a whole business in Portuguese and a whole business in English, even though it's all under the umbrella of the Akashic Records Institute, because it's in 2 languages. It calls me to be very organized, very focused, so I can, I can give, right? And all the things that we do, the videos that we do here for numerology and everything else that we do for our students, and my tribes, in my other tribes, it's, it's giving, right? But it's highly, highly important that I fill my cup so I can give more. Otherwise, so for me, that balance, it's very important. So I have a specific ritual that I do at night and one in the morning. And so actually I wanted to start with the night one, because the morning hinges on the night and so on, right? So they are both work together. So before I go to sleep, I get my water. Those are, you can find those anywhere, or if you don't have some of those, you can also just use a cup. But basically I like this one because it has the clear crystal inside. And before I go to sleep, I will write down my goals. Like, what are the 3 things that I'm working towards in the next 12 weeks? I like to work in short periods of time for 12 weeks increments, right? So before I go to sleep, I write down what I'm working on. And so I write that down. And so as soon as I do that, I'm already, even more aligned with it. And then I get my Sacred Crystal Codes Oracle deck and my Akashic Realm Messengers Oracle deck. I get both my Oracle decks, and I use them one with each one. So first, as soon as I write my goals, I will call my higher self, and I will, as I'm thinking about the goals, I start mixing the cards, like tuning in and align, and I will take one card, but I will not look at it. So I will get one of the cards, and what I do, I will place on top of the crystal, right? And it's gonna stay throughout the night, emanating the energy down, and the crystal brings it up. And this is, we have the power of the sacred lineage today. So all the crystals will go into the water, and the activated clear quartz goes up. So it's going to be all night long, as bringing the energy of what I'm creating. And I'm also when I call my higher self, and then when I finally sleep, right, then I surrender. And at night, I start, receiving, anchoring, and learning what is needed, which I'll put a pin on that because we're going to go into the morning. Then I'll do the same thing. I'll draw one card from the Akashic Realm Messenger, and I'll place on my card holder, which this is one of the Akashic Realm Messengers, is the one that came to me first when I channeled this whole oracle deck. He's a Lokiliak, and he also works with creating a manifestation. So I will draw a card and I'll place it, and it's going to be also next to me. So I'll do these two things. I work with both my oracles, and then off I go. So that's my evening routine. So I realign, and I surrender. I don't have to be thinking. In manifestation, you don't have to think in what you wanted to create, right? So when I wake up, I will immediately get my bottle, and I will look at the message, right? I will connect with the grid, and I'll have both of them in front of me. So have the grid, I have the Akashic Realm Messenger, and I will drink as I'm connecting and watching, right? So I have both oracles in front of me. So I'm drinking and I'm receiving the vibration, the healing, and the messages. I'm opening to receive the message. And once after I do that, then I do a 1 hour meditation. I just sit before. This is very important. Don't open your computer. Don't touch your phone or any of that, right? Because, and it is a habit that you create. Once you create that habit, you're going to find that your day is going to be completely changed, completely changed. So I'll drink my water, I'll do my 1 hour meditation, and then I exercise. I have, and today, the time we are recording this video, most people cannot go anywhere, including me. And I have this online exercise class, which is great. So then as soon as I finish my meditation, I do my exercise. So this is my morning ritual. I am a morning person. I wake up early before everybody else in my house wakes up. And that's when, and I really find that by doing so, I am on, focus throughout the day. So after my exercise, that's when I get my book and I write down again. I write down my goals. And then I write down all the evidences of what I'm seeing around me, right? So if a friend of mine share an amazing story, I'll write the evidence. All the evidence of all the good things that everyone around me is experiencing. And then I write down gratitude, like everything that I'm grateful for. So I just starting like automatic writing until I feel, complete. And then I open the Akashic Records, my Akashic Records, because then is that when my day starts, right? So I do this process where I open my Akashic Records around me. And so everything that I do for work is directly connected, directly channeled. And I find that helps me throughout the whole day. And that's then I do have another ritual, because every day between 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and it's one that we added now, right? It's family time. So we take a break and we do family time. But, and then sometimes I work a little more between 4 and 6. Sometimes I'm done for the day. But I find that all of this help me to get these good 6 hours of focus in the morning for everything that I do.
Yeah, wow. I love how organized you are and how organized that makes you. And obviously, like you say, with your business, like it's very important to do that. So I just want to just to recap what you had there. So you have your book, so your notebook. You have your water bottle with the crystal. You have both of your oracle decks. So that's the Sacred Crystal Codes Oracle deck and the Akashic Realm Messages, is it?
Yes. So
Yes.
this is the crystal grids, and this is the Akashic Realm messengers. Yes.
So can you just tell me a bit more about those oracle decks and why somebody would potentially use those and how they would interpret them?
Yes, of course. So the Sacred Crystal Codes was the first oracle deck that I created, and it came from, I've been teaching Akashic Records. I've been doing Akashic Record sessions for 20 years, and then 7 years ago, I just felt, I felt called to start teaching this methodology that I use, that I channeled, is the Soul Matrix method. So that was like, so about 7 years ago, I started teaching. And what I noticed is that even though the students were learning and they were working with the records, their conscious mind brought doubt. Am I doing, am I not doing, I'm doing right? And who am I? And then, I also support the students in to go out and get clients, like start, offering your services. So that is a lot of layers that come up from, learning something new, from feeling comfortable, for feeling confident, for going out and sharing about the work and your relationship with money, when you have to charge, not charge, all that stuff. So I started, that's when I channeled also the Akashic clearings. We did some Akashic clearings here for numerology, some healing sessions. So that's when I started doing these sessions for the students, and started helping them to feel more confident, to feel more comfortable, and they started getting results. And so every time I do something, I always create the space to prepare, right? Today I was meditating before a conversation. So I like to create this space. And so what I started noticing, before the time to do the healing session used to be live at the time, we had like a time there. And before we do that, I started, when I was meditating, I started receiving these grids, these, sacred geometry formations. And then one day I was like, and I have lots of crystals around me all the time, crystal addict, first one. So I had my crystals around, and then I started receiving this, and I just felt guided to start, doing these crystal formations. So those are some of them. And I would, what I would do, then I also felt guided to take a picture of them, and the sessions were in Zoom like that. So I would take a picture and I would share before the session. So the students would start looking at the crystal grids and receiving the vibration, the healing, and the transmission. And then they would close their eyes and we start the healing session. So and those sessions were like once a week, and I was doing Portuguese and in English at that time. So I've done those sessions for, maybe at the time, like I was doing for about 40 years. So I had, 52 weeks. I had about 200 crystal grid, beautiful pictures of crystal grids. And my husband was one day, he's like, he was looking me, I was preparing for a class or something. So he's like, why don't you make a book, like, a book of those? They are so beautiful. Do something with them, right? And that's when the idea came, and I started looking around, and then I was like, well, why not an oracle deck, right? And that's why, and that's how this oracle deck was born. So I started asking my community, my clients, would you like an oracle deck with those crystal grids? And then the story is actually very funny. I went to this Kickstarter, right? So this oracle came 3 years ago. I went on Kickstarter. So you basically go in and you put the page and, put all the pictures and everything there. And, that is like, they're supposed to have like, a month planning, and you're supposed to let people know, so people can let, if you want more people to help you, you need to. And what happened is I was preparing the page, and it said, press here and it will take a few days for us to approve your campaign. So I pressed the button, but I think I pressed the button twice, and the campaign was poof live, and I was like,
oh.
uh-oh. So, and it was so I had no plan. I had no emails. I was like, it's, yeah, I was planning to do it in a month. So it was just so powerful that I went, that was like 2017. I just went on Facebook Live and I said, guys, please share, because it was just, and within 12 hours was funded. And so,
Wow.
and it was almost like,
It's a
yes,
happy accident.
yes. So that's how the Sacred Crystal Codes was born.
Okay, that's excellent. So, unlike, say, like a tarot deck or a like an angel oracle deck, it feels like with the crystal codes, it's more of like a, I don't know, you're just almost a passenger, sort of receiving that energy. Is that right?
Yes, it's more like it's a self-help oracle. So, and it works like you can, so when you get your oracle for the day, so you work with that grid, and that is you when then you read the message, and that is always like what the person is looking for. So this oracle, it works beautifully when I do the 3-card reading here in numerology, but it's also for a lot of people that order this oracle. They are looking to expand, they are looking to growth, they are looking to connect to the purpose. So it's a beautiful self journey that helps you in many different areas. And there are, when you order, there are healing sessions that come with it. So it's a program on its own, right, to help at different stages of life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I should mention that everything that we mentioned today, if you go to the link in the description, you'll be able to find all of those things, and that includes your oracle decks too. So let's go on to the next oracle deck, your Akashic Realm messengers. Can you tell me a bit about them?
Yes. So the Akashic Realm Messenger was actually a different process. I was on my merry way last year. It was actually, and I don't know, this video could be here in the future, right? So on February or 2019, when I do my morning meditations, sometimes I'm visited, and that's when I was visited by, he gave me his name, Elok Eliak. So Elok Eliak is the master guardian of the Akashic realm. And he came to me and he was sharing that change was coming. And oh boy, it came, right? So that was February. That was a year before March of this year, right? So February of 2019, that is, it's like change is coming. A lot of the things that we are used to are going to start breaking down. And this actually that is happening now, it's going to be, we are still in the midst of transition, and I see it the next 7 years, from we just started, but it's all good. That is a lot of opportunities here. But anyway, so he came in, a lot of the things that we see as are always going to be there are shifting, are changing. And so the work that the Akashic Realm messengers have is to support us, all of us, to shift into the 5th dimension consciousness, which is, experiencing life and showing up in life from a different perspective, from a different lens. Things are changing, yes, but it's through this change that a lot of people are going to start and have started already awakening, and how you show up, it's completely different than it used to show up a while ago. And so there are 44 messengers that came at this time. There are more messages, but the messages that are here now, so it's almost like Elok Eliak, he opens the pathway, the channel for those messengers. And they each are going to help in different areas. They help, Ziara helps with forgiveness. And so that is, Melina helps like clearing pathway. And each one, will help in a different area of people's lives. And the difference between you know, for me, like working with the Akashic Records for 20 years, and now there is this new layer, which is the Akashic realm. A lot of people ask, like, what is the difference, right? So the difference is when you go to your Akashic Records, you are going through, you're learning from your soul history. When you go to the Akashic Records of your clients, you are, you know, you're bringing information regarding that person's soul's history. When you connect with the messengers and when you learn to access the Akashic realm, you are connecting with the collective wisdom that are here to support us. So not necessarily, we're not going to have access to a particular person's wisdom, but we get the collective that's going to help us at this time. So when you work, they are 44 cards, and you work, you know, there are different ways that I actually have a whole training that teaches, you know, different, I forgot the name in English, the different, we call tiragens in Portuguese, when you place the cards in, completely forgot the name in English.
Like a spread?
Spread, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so there are different spreads that come, and you can work with different spreads with them. So it works as a oracle card you can do for readings. I have many of those who order them, use for their own readings, use for their own Facebook lives, and that a lot of people are being impacted by that. And so not only the person that has it, but when you do a reading for others, that touches people's lives and start helping people through this time, through this transition. It's being essential. It's been changing the lives of so many people, and I'm so blessed to be the, you know, be able to bring them in this way.
That's wonderful. And I may be wrong, but the picture or the card you showed me there of Iliac, is that the same as your card holder? Was that the same image on there?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what so first, like how, you know, that came true once I got the message, and I not necessarily was going to be an oracle, but that's like, you know, that's one of the reasons that they came to me, because I already had the experience with doing an oracle, and that would be like the easiest way to bring them. So when in the spreads, anytime you are doing a reading with those cards, anytime that Iliac shows up in a reading, he acts as a charger for the cards that come before and after. So if you're doing a reading and Iliac shows up, it's like, pay attention. So he brings this faster manifestation. He works with miracles and manifestations. So it's almost like has a different, you know, a different energy in the reading. It's like, really pay attention. And he charges the cards. So that's why we did those card holders, because you can, you know, you in your ritual, in your daily ritual, you can take one card, you read, you know, you connect the card, other card, right? And you, today, this is the card that came today. So you connect to the card, and then you place the card. So Iliac, it's empowering. It's like almost like enhancing the energies and the vibration that comes from any oracle that you take.
Yeah,
so
that makes great sense. That's perfect. So do you, where can we get one of those card holders?
It's also on my Etsy store.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll put a link to that as well. So just a reminder, anything we talk about today, you can find in the link in the description. So that's really cool. I like how you've done that with the card reader, because it's got that extra boost really to your card reading.
I want to can I share one more thing about
Absolutely, yeah.
And so I have these beautiful artists that work with me to bring them, and in the process, it was a 9-month process. And so I would connect with her. She's in Brazil, so we would connect like on Zoom like that. And every time we connect, I'll guide her to connect with one Akashic Realm messenger. So I took her in journeys so she could connect with them, so she could bring the, you know, their energy in its essence. And when we connect with Iliac, if you see, like, he is in the stars, right? but the lines, they are made by stars. So it's almost like when we call the essence of the messenger, you know, it's like this. When we called his essence, there was this beautiful bright white light, almost like silvery white, and it's that, and which were stars, and they started almost like attracting each other and coming with his. So it's just wanted to share that.
I love that. I think that's a really nice thing to do. It's not just your perception of you know, your description that you were giving to your designer. She actually channeled that energy herself and put pen to paper of what she personally was seeing, which is so cool. I love that. Excellent.
She was my student, so you know, when it's almost like it came like, okay, it's an oracle deck, and then, you know, her picture came to in my mind's eye, right? That's the person. And then I invited her, and she was like, I was just thinking about, you know, I needed to be more out there, and she's so adorable. And so yeah, it was a perfect match.
That's wonderful. Now, I just wanted to ask you, just one more question. I remember you said that you're a crystal nut. Obviously, you know, you do your crystal oracle deck. But do you have favorite crystals or any favorite crystal grids that you do?
Lemurian.
Okay, that's interesting.
I love working with Lemurian, and it is actually I have a deep connection with Lemuria, and so when you right now next to me, I don't have a Lemurian crystal. I'm actually in my vacation home in Palm Springs, so I could not bring all my crystals here. So I just have a few. So those are my like hand crystals. This is a Lemurian one, and I use those for healing when I connect with my healing guides, and they go to everyone that is participating. Those crystals also help, you know, supercharge. So that's why no matter where you are in China, Brazil, or Australia or United States, everyone receives, you know, the same level of energy. But the Lemurian crystals, when they have those lines, I don't know if you can see the lines, but they have like lines with them, which is information that is being stored when, and I explain that because most of the crystal grids are with Lemurian points, the crystal grids in the Sacred Crystal Codes Oracle, but that is how information was stored. So I love Lemurians, and sometimes when I meditate, I'm just kind of like, you know, for me it's like as I pass my thumb, I read the energy. So those are absolutely my favorite crystals.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. That has been a really good chat, I think. And it's so funny because everything you were talking about, like, that sounds like a really good ritual. So you never know, I might be the next purchaser of your oracle decks. So thank you, numerologist community, for watching. You can head to our numerologist blog and you can see everything that Patricia does over there. Like I say, we'll be linking to all of the products and things that Patricia uses in her daily practices, so you can get them too. So thank you again, Patricia.
You're so welcome. It was a pleasure to be here with you and everyone here in Numerologist. Always, always, always an honor.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more readings and forecasts every single week. Head to the description now for your free numerology reading and to view our latest blogs.